I reached into the ethers with that vision or dream. And today I want to share it with you. So I'm in Seattle at a park, and I am standing at this park looking down at the city. It's a park I've been to before. I can't tell you the name. All I know is I've been there to watch fireworks before because it has a great view of the city. And in the city, I could tell that there was a storm brewing. That's what it felt like. It felt like there was some kind of storm brewing. And I don't know, felt emotional. And I could feel it brewing, and there was smoke kind of filling up the city, and it was reaching up, and then poof, it hit a crescendo. I can't say it, a crescendo. It hit a peak, and it kind of let off like what looked like a bomb. It had a mushroom cloud. And I know we always associate nuclear um, bombs with the mushroom cloud, but I've seen old footage of regular bombs being dropped, and it looks like they have a mushroom cloud sometimes too. Anyways, like I said, I felt like that was an emotional thing. And I remember I was standing with people I didn't know, and we all looked at each other, and we were very concerned about what was going on. We weren't concerned for ourselves. We were concerned for the people within that city. And we just knew there was nothing that we could do for them. And we also knew it wasn't our battle. It just wasn't our fight. So we turned around and started going up the hill. And the hill kept getting steeper and steeper. And after a while, two presidents joined us, President George Washington and President Abraham Lincoln. And they would take turns leading us. One would fall to the back to make sure no stragglers were left behind as the other one led. And like I said, they would change positions. And as we were going up the hill, it kept going steeper and steeper, but we weren't getting tired. It was easy for us to go up this hill, and we made really good time. We were going at a pretty fast pace. And eventually we hit a cliff, and we looked up the cliff, and it was just straight up and down. And we started climbing it. Easy peasy for us. It shouldn't be. I mean, we were just using our body to climb it, and it was straight up. But for us, it was super easy. And again, the presidents were leading us and making sure that no one got left behind. And while we were climbing, it was President Lincoln who was in the back. And as I looked at him, he became dark and black and looked kind of frightening. He's spindly, didn't quite look human. And then he transformed back to himself. And I didn't think much of it because we were busy climbing. And as we reached the top of the cliff, there were these beautiful beings who were dressed in white, and they glowed. They glowed with a goodness that glowed so bright that they just shined. They shined so bright we couldn't see far behind them because they kind of blocked out what was behind them. And they reached down and grabbed our hand and helped us that last little bit up to the cliff. And they were beautiful. Oh, it wasn't scary at all. We could just feel their goodness. And they were humans like us, but better. They were, I don't, they were a little different just because they glowed. They just, the light within them just shined forth and illuminated everything around them. And when we got up to the top of the cliff, I looked around and I noticed the grass was perfect. It was perfect. Every blade was beautiful. It was a perfect shade of green and perfectly shaped. And then I looked and I saw the flowers, and they too were beautiful. They were brighter, and the colors were more vibrant than anything I've ever seen before, and each petal was perfect, and the trees were beautiful. They don't look ill. Like, I look at our trees now in the Northwest, and I see that a lot of them are sick. Well, these were not sick. They were in perfect health. And I could tell, I could feel in the back behind these people that were helping us that there was a city. And I'm not a city person. I really like the country. I love nature. But I knew this was a city that was so beautiful that I would not mind going there. And I knew we were going to be led there. We were going to be led there for a short term before we went to wherever we were going to go. And then the vision closed. Hi, this is Jeanette again. I just want to clarify that when I talk about not getting sucked into all the drama, it doesn't mean that we can't help others, that we're to be selfish. We can help where we can help, but we're not to do it to the point where it hurts us in any way. We have to be discerning. And there are times when it's totally appropriate to give a lot to someone. Like right now, I have a family member who is in her 80s and she just lost her husband. So she needs more help. And that is completely okay. There is a season and a time for everything. And in the past, she hasn't needed that much help, and now she does. And I'm glad to do that for her when I can. But when I see that it's hurting my health, I step back and I take a break. In the past, I used to feel like I had to save everyone. And in doing so, I was wearing myself down and I wasn't really working on myself. And I was not learning the lessons that I needed to learn. And also, I was preventing the person that was doing too much for to not learn their lessons and not to grow. So there is a fine balance, and sometimes it's really hard to find it, but I know you can, and I can too, and together we'll learn to do it together. And so I hope that maybe you can give us some tips on what has worked for you in the past in learning how to have more of a balance in your life regarding helping others, knowing when to step in and when to stay out. Anyways, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Bye.